Oh, hey guys. I was just checking my new hairdo. Went and got it trimmed this weekend. My woman, she's actually a hairdresser, so I don't really have to go very far to make a, I don't have to try very hard to make an appointment. See her every day. It's just a matter of when she's free and not busy. It's pretty good. Loving life. Anyway, I just thought I'd talk a little bit about one of my favorite artists who I've neglected tremendously. I've talked volumes and volumes about Sabbath and Dio, and completely left out Ozzy up until this point. Um, I cut my hair. A lot of rockers don't have short hairdos. Of course, nowadays anything goes. Long beards, crazy mustaches, whatever. Metallica got a lot of flack back in the '90s for cutting their hair, but I have tried and tried. I've had my hair down to about here, near me floppy ears, but never works out for me. I always get tired of it. It does this thing where it looks like I had a curler up in my hair, rolled tight behind my ear, and I get tired of it. And not that it's hot. Today it's 65 degrees. Last week it was about a foot of snow on the ground. So Kentucky weather. But I know soon I will have made the wise decision by cutting my hair because it will be hotter than Hades outside. Anyway, talking about Metallica, like I always do, I try to segue into one artist into another. I did Foo Fighters, and then I did the Police, talking about Stuart Copeland. Really can't do that today. These videos are too far apart. However, Robert Cihullo, member of Metallica, newest member of Metallica's bassist. He's only been in the band longer than probably the last two bassists, but he used to actually play with Ozzy. He was Ozzy's bassist, touring bassist for years. I think that was after, let's see, what's his name? God, I'm blanking on names here. Huh. You'd think if I was going to do a show, I would have names or something set out. I never write this stuff out. I just talk about these things as if I know them. I know most things pretty well, but every now and again, I tend to forget a name. It's rare. Now, if I met you on the street, I'd forget your name instantly. If you were on Ozzy's album back in 1983, you're probably going to know who you are, or have a talking knowledge about it for the few weeks that I'm really interested in it, and then on to the next venue, whatever. But yeah, I wanted to talk about Ozzy today. He's one of my favorite artists, one of my favorite rock artists, metal artists. I mean, he is the godfather of heavy metal. He and the rest of the members of Black Sabbath. I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, he's the Prince of Darkness. He's the King of Cool. He's the dad that I grew up with when the Osbournes were on MTV. Took a lot of the things that he said to heart because he's lived it. He was the rock and roll epitome. He was the poster child for fuck upness, and he did that a lot. I think there's that story on The Dirt, Motley Crue's The Dirt. Everybody knows where he was talking about snorting ants and, drinking Nikki Sixx's piss or something. And, I think it was just the other day, it was like the 40th anniversary of him pissing on the Alamo. Wild, crazy stuff, So when he says don't use drugs, you might want to listen because you'll get hooked. One of his coolest songs is Demon Alcohol from early on, from his solo years. And it's the truth. I mean, alcohol is probably the biggest killer and addictive substance there is, and people tend to think it's not. Ozzy has had a lot of bouts with that, and very thankful that he's still here and putting out music. Last year, I believe, or was it I think it was last year, he put out his Ordinary Man. That's his forthcoming album. It's amazing. It's a really good album, a lot of great production. My daughter is a really big fan of Charlie Puth, or was. Great songwriter, not really in my realm of music, but I respect him very much. Great pianist too, and he happens to play all of the piano stuff on here. So it's pretty cool. And of course, Post Malone makes an appearance a couple of times on the last couple tracks. So that's really weird and rare for Ozzy to do, but I think he's very accepting of Post Malone. A couple revelations for me, or realizations of how good an artist Post Malone is, have happened in the last couple of years. I think during quarantine, coronavirus 2020, he had a set that he did on live stream with Travis Barker playing drums and a buddy of his playing bass, where they just played all Nirvana songs. And when he did that, to me, honestly, he killed it. He made me a fan. Now, I'm not a real big fan of his music just because it's not my general listening habits. However, I do respect him more for that and his capabilities. So there's that. That's pretty cool that Ozzy put him on the album. You know, up and coming guy, getting a little bit more fame. It's not always something you see from Ozzy, people getting to be on there on those albums. Now, I know back in the 90s, and I can't remember if it is No More Tears or Osmosis. I think it's on No More Tears that why am I blanking on names tonight? Really, I maybe need some sleep. Lenny Kellmeister from Motorhead, helped him write a few songs and has co-credits on some really great songs like Mama, I'm Coming Home and stuff like that. And the other name that I was looking for earlier was Mike Inez. Mike Inez actually took off and went to Alice in Chains, going back to a previous topic that we covered here on Rock and Roll with Alice in Chains. So, you know, these bands, they all kind of turn out. Different people are in different bands and different things are needed at different times, and that just happened. Mike Inez was one of the new bassists after No Rest for the Wicked came out, which, speaking of, I actually bought this twice. A couple of years ago, I lost the one I've always had, and this is actually an original copy. It doesn't have like all the extras and remastered versions that Ozzy put out back in the 90s, early 2000s. But I had lost my copy, and I was like, I gotta have a copy of that album. I was like, really, it's like, you know, you got more of that No Rest for the Wicked, because I love this album. It's definitely one of my favorite Ozzy albums. It is Zakk Wylde's first album, and who else is on that? Randy Castillo, who did a stint with Motley Crue for a minute. He died of cancer, I believe, in 2003. Tends to be the going trend. You know, Eric Carr died of cancer and things like that. Different people doing that who are drummers. It really sucks that I like all these drummers that keep dying. But yeah, No Rest for the Wicked. Go check it out. It is probably the hardest. It's right smack dab in the middle of his career, and so it's probably the heaviest album at the time that he put out. And to me, it's just killer. I remember having it on cassette when I was little, and so it was one of those early albums that I listened to and just fell in love with. Now, that's not to say that I don't like other albums, because I do. I remember in '99, I begged my mother for this, and this is the, I think, original copy, maybe, that she bought me, I believe, back in the day. 2000, 1999, I remember when it came out. Ozzy was having a resurgence, because there's been a few different times that he's retired and done different things out of the limelight, you know, trying to get away. But that's a really great album too. Mike Borden on drums there, one of my favorite drummers. Really great album. Zakk Wylde is on that one. Now, this one I believe Jake E. Lee plays on. Not a real big fan of it. I do love it, because I like even rare albums like Kiss is the Elder. So The Ultimate Sin, it's just a really cool concept. I think that was around the time that Ozzy was wearing the glittery gowns and the makeup and dyeing his hair blonde and stuff like that. But Shot in the Dark, Ultimate Sin, a couple good songs. You know, it's like bookends. Both songs, beginning and the end of the album, are really good. Now, there's some other stuff in there too, but I wouldn't recommend it as a first listen to Ozzy. If you're trying to tell somebody who's never listened to Ozzy, hey, go listen to Ozzy, because this is really great. But, you know, I mean, oh, there it is. I did bring it out here. I got both copies of it. This is the remastered version with The Liar on it and Miracle Man Live. So it's really cool. And of course, in the album artwork you see on the CD, that's Geezer Butler. He was in the band, so it's like half Sabbath. It's kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, Zach Wild, he's in half Sabbath, you know, and then he does the whole Zach Sabbath, where he covers Sabbath songs from the Ozzy era, which is really cool. And I'm really ashamed to say that I've not talked a lot about Ozzy. I guess I just take it for common knowledge that everyone knows that I'm a huge fan, because I'm a huge Sabbath fan. I mean, I don't think I would be listening to Born Again if I wasn't. Most people don't just go out and buy that album because, yeah, they heard it was good. I mean, I think it's good, but I don't think generally most people have even heard of it. So, anyway, big fan of Ozzy. Always will be, no matter what. Looking forward to new music from him. I think Ordinary Man was an amazing album. If you have not listened to it, go listen to it. No Rest for the Wicked, definitely my favorite all-time Ozzy album, bar none. Even Sabbath stuff. Well, I mean, not to discount Sabbath stuff, but it's in a totally different realm. So go listen to that one too. It's really cool. Subscribe below, man. Give me some likes. You know, I'm getting some people watching, but I need more people watching. Spreading the word. I'm going to do some different stuff on here. But right now, I just wanted to talk about Ozzy. So this is Hugh Scheffner signing off. Rock and roll. Go subscribe. See you next time.